I would say yes and no. I would say, in some sense, it doesn't differ, right? In some of the core values that Independence Day is founded on, right? The idea that the people should govern, right? That idea is still there, right? I mean, the concept is still there, but it's manifested in a very different world. I mean, we live in a very different world. The diversity in this country is very different. The demographics are very different. Technology is very different. The economy is very different. I mean, so yes, I think the core central values are still the same, but I think they're expressed in a very different world, right? Different circumstances, variables, contexts, even foreign policies, right? The governments, all that is very different from 250 years ago. So I would say yes and no.
I think to a certain degree it does. The people that came together and wrote the Declaration of Independence, the delegates and all the other people that contributed to that process had a vision in mind. The bigger question is, did their vision extend to what we are today as a nation? Arguably one of the greatest ever. And, the significance of that day, I think for different people, they have different interpretations of that history. And I think that for them it signifies, for a lot of people it signifies something different. Certainly for me, it has historical significance. But I often, I wonder if ever in the history of humanity we will see a group of individuals, delegates, and other people associated with that process. Will we ever see those type of individuals come together to create a nation that has changed the lives of millions of individuals? That's pretty amazing. And in a historical context, will we ever see something like that again? If you think about the figures, the people, all of those individuals that were associated with that process. Certainly you would think so, right? But that's pretty amazing that set of colonies, all of these individuals were able to come together and create a nation, achieve their independence, and then create a nation that today stands as one of the greatest.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know that if you were living back at that time, the meaning of, how we define freedom even, like it looks very different in our time than it did then. And we even argue about that, like what's being free and to what extent, what do we need to provide to people for them to feel free? And, in 1776, they were just it was a feeling of we're separating ourselves, and it was separating ourselves into an unknown, really. Like here we are, we don't know what this is going to really look like. We don't know what this is going to be like. And to an extent, there's a lot of similarity, I guess, still. We don't know what the future is going to look like. And there is a lot of uncertainty with our current situation, with all that's going on. But I think that we've been stable in the United States and with our government structures for so long that that level of uncertainty isn't there. And so I think it's very different. And obviously too, we have July 4th and it's a celebration, it's fun. And back in those times it was, there was not the commonality. They were not connected. They were spread out, but I think we grapple with some of the same types of issues in terms of how do we define this and that, and what do we need? What is required for people to really feel like they are free? And I think that all of those arguments look a little different, but we still have some of the same questions. And so it's same and different, I guess.
I think the difference between 1776 and what those settlers and what they were fighting for at that point in time of our history is not very far a stretch of where we are today, continuing to advocate for our freedom of speech, our rights, not only in our domestic agenda, but our foreign agenda as well. We have to look at all of that collectively. It really is not that far of a separation, but it lends itself to a constant exploration of those topics, of those freedoms, and our role in maintaining those freedoms, and how we as citizens have a duty to their country to continue to serve to preserve that. Having a son in the military exponentially increases that awareness for myself, not only for his safety, but also for what he is doing for us to maintain our freedoms here domestically, and how we help those abroad as well.
Oh, no, absolutely. I think, to believe that we're still celebrating liberty from a sovereign is, I think, somewhat reductive at this point. We've evolved as a country, as a citizenry beyond that. The beauty of the American Constitution is that it was never meant to be static, and that it has the ability to change and to adapt for changes that come up as a function of either technology or philosophical changes or just the country, the underlying citizenry changes in some way, shape, or form. So I think what we're celebrating now is the freedoms that we enjoy, the liberties that we have to continue engaging and participating in this great experiment, and the responsibility that we have towards maintaining that going forward.